Digitize and monetize with iEnt Live, the only platform that provides complete digital support for entertainers, promoters, businesses, and entrepreneurs. Leverage our one-stop digital ecosystem that will allow you to promote your music, sell albums, and host paid events, host webinars and sell courses, promote your concerts, sell tickets and live stream events, and market your business or project to generate new customer leads, traffic, and more. This is all supported by our homegrown AI-driven digital marketing infrastructure that has successfully served hundreds of clients around the world. To learn more, send us a message or call 765-4641.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to Bloodline podcast on iEnt Live. My guest this evening is Joshua Regrello, noted Pannist from the south of Trinidad and Tobago. Skipper Bunch Captain Joshua Regrello. Welcome, Joshua.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
I'm fine. How things going in Southland, man?
Nice too bad. I mean, everything is under COVID, of course, COVID restrictions. So as nice as it can be.
Mm-hmm. But tell me something about you now. Tell me something about Joshua. Joshua, where you're born. Tell me something about your family, that kind of thing.
Okay, so I was born into a pan family as well as a creative family.
Mm-hmm.
So my granny is literally like a cultural icon. House of Jackie Kuna. I don't feel like I even need to explain who she is and what she does. My dad, Junior Regrello as well. I feel like no explanation needed. And then just different people in my family too also contribute to culture. So I was born into a really cultural family, which has permitted me and like channeled me into like culture and permits me to like, and that's introduced me to what I do today basically.
And brothers and sisters.
I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay. What about going to school? Where you went to school, and what were some of your hobbies that you had as a little boy growing up?
Okay, so I went to Grand Memorial Presbyterian School first, primary school, and then secondary school I went to Naprima College. And I was like growing up as a child, I loved everything. Literally, you could ask my mother. I was in basically every single club. In secondary school, I was one of those guys that had like a tie full of just pins. Anything they had, I was in it. Any kind of seal, I was in it.
Wow. I wonder.
Yeah, literally. I'm not saying that I was good at a lot of those things, but
Tell us about your beginnings in music and some of the influences that causes go to music.
Well, I grew up in a panyard, literally grew up in a panyard, and spent the majority of my time in a panyard because my dad, he was the captain of Skiffle Steel Orchestra and is now the manager of Skiffle Steel Orchestra. But through that, I was just like in the panyard from a very early age. So I would say like me playing music is no surprise or no shocker. It's like a natural progression. And in terms of influences, I was just always around pan. I was always in the pan yard. So like when you think about it, I always call it a natural progression because and also like while I was growing up, while I was learning to talk, simultaneously I was learning to play pan because I had like a pan at home basically from a very young age.
Yeah.
So me playing pan is literally like my natural way of expressing.
So there was no chance then of, let's say, being influenced by either Granny, who is an icon, Jackie,
Yeah.
Mommy, who is into fashion,
Yeah.
Auntie Cyan, who is a model, a top model, right? Of you becoming a model, of getting into fashion. And
Well, the thing is, I get influences from all my family members, literally. And so right now I don't really consider myself like solely a panist, but more of like a creative on a whole. And so like a lot of things that I do, even like with pan, like my music videos or whatever it is, it involves a collective effort by like everybody in the family.
Okay.
Granny's always involved. I'm always by like Granny's house with everybody there, working on ideas, getting everybody's input. There is inspiration from every single person, and like even right now I'm working on some clothing to put out soon. And in that process, I was by grinding like for like about 2 weeks every single day with different like drafts, different prototypes, and everybody there, all my cousins, everybody that lives on my grandma's house had an input. All right, we don't like this, we like this. Try this cloth. Try this cloth. For black hair. So it was literally everybody has an input in what I do and who I am.
So we could expect a Joshua Regrello men's line coming out soon then.
I would say we could expect one coming. The word soon I wouldn't add because it's been a work in progress. Just because I wanna be content with what it is, and it's still just having some complications and getting the final product out. But something is coming.
Something is coming. What's your most memorable moment in Pan?
In Pan, hmm, I don't have moments. I don't have one moment. And I don't allow myself to like just have like one moment or like favorite moments. I would say the most memorable thing for me is just all the experiences on a whole. And something I am definitely grateful for is the experiences that I'm just able to live and able to experience. I'm definitely just grateful for all, and they're all very very memorable to me.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't have to be the biggest show. Literally, just performing for two people is something that I'm appreciative for because, in plenty cases, it means that these two people wanted to see you perform.
Hmm. Tell me something. Your favorite arranger, Pan arranger. Who's your favorite arranger?
I do have one actually.
You don't have one that you work with that you like working with them more than another one kind of
Mm,
thing?
do have one. No.
No. But who are some of the arrangers you have worked with?
Um. Well, through Skiffle, I've worked with a couple.
You thought so?
For sure. Well, I grew up under Professor,
Mm-hmm.
the Professor, may he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I played my first panorama under him, my first like two panoramas under him. So definitely I've worked under him. And then there's Keith Salcido. I've been fortunate to see Len Bugsy Sharp at work. Ray Holman. So through Skiffle and through Pan, I've been able to just experience like a wealth of knowledge and really like sit in the what is the University of the Panyard.
Mm.
But to say I have a favorite, I don't. I,
Okay.
I rather just experience all and learn as much as I
Okay.
can from all.
Skiffle has a new sponsor.
Mhm.
Has anything changed with this new sponsor coming on board? With the band?
We've had Caribbean Airlines as our new sponsor for
Mm-hmm.
as our sponsor for like the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think a new sponsor just brings a different energy. So I would say that just I wouldn't really compare it to any other sponsor before. I don't feel like that's fair to anyone, but definitely I think a new sponsor always brings a new energy. It's a new brand. It's like rebranding, and with that just brings a new energy and a resurgence. So that's something special in itself.
So you are the captain of the band, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me something. And Skiffle has a pan theater on Coffee Street, is it?
Yep. Coffee Street.
Coffee Street. Um, Skiffle, how does Skiffle benefit like the young people and the community? Is a fixture. You know,
Yeah.
how it benefits the young people and the community.
Well, I think on a whole, any pan yard and any steel band on a whole
Mm,
will benefit young people by one giving young people something to do on a whole,
mm,
and of course something positive to do, and
mm,
also provides a different avenue as a career. Because being a panist, being a pan man is a career, and in that too, there's so many different careers. You could be a manager, a band captain. You could
mm,
be a pan tuner. There's so many different things that you can do. So I think it really just it gives a different avenue and an e avenue for youth. And then for the community, I think it just brings life to the community, brings home to the community, and it brings, most importantly, unity to a community.
what about the discipline side now? I mean, that should enhance with be a positive for young people.
Yeah, there's so many different sk- uh skill sets and personality traits that can be developed through just being in a panyard. Like when you look at panorama on a whole,
Mm,
what goes into Panorama, like because you see a lot of youth involved in Panorama, and I don't think people take into consideration the effort that these youth are making, especially when you look at somebody who's like, because I think as the years go by, the people are just becoming younger and playing Panorama, which is a huge feat in itself. But when you look at somebody in primary school putting in those hours, that
Mm.
level of commitment, that level of discipline, that level of musicality, because to be able to perform at a level too, so that you, in so many ways, these young people are growing by just being involved in the Panyard and the steel band.
Skiffle has a junior band.
We've had within the last couple of years, we've had like a Skiffle Junior,
Mm.
and it's just been like being restructured over like in that period of time to like just like what is ideal basically. So in that time, we have had a junior band within like the last 5 years, and there've been just like a lot of like changes, I guess. But so yes, the answer is yes.
So I take it that the older guys, or the older Pannist, right? The young people coming in like primary school upwards to
Mhm.
secondary, not just they're not only learning to play an instrument, but I guess that they're also learning music. They have some, the rudiments of music.
Yeah, and I think something that's real important too is to mention is when you're involved in a steel band, the amount of music that you do learn,
Hmm.
when something as playing as Panorama, a lot of the amount of music that you're exposed to is really insane. I don't think people take that into consideration as well.
So you think that Pan could be even more involved in the education curriculum in terms of music? For instance, okay, so at primary school level, you, every kid that doing music, you learn on the recorder.
Hmm.
Pan is supposed to be the national instrument of Trinidad. You don't think it's fitting to have pan as that basic instrument to start young people, you know, in learning the instrument and loving it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But I think more importantly, and before that, I think what's very important is that we need to figure out a way for people to be more patriotic about Pan.
Hmm.
Because I don't think it's I've heard this discussion a lot of times. I don't think it's as simple as just making Pan necessary in schools.
Hmm.
Because I remember even me when I was going to school, that's when Pan in schools was still going on, and there was Pan in my school, but not a lot of people wanted to do it. And I think we need to, we as Trinidadians, we're still not patriotic about the steel pan. And a lot of people, and really and truly, a lot of people don't like the steel pan in right here in Trinidad and Tobago. And I don't think it's as simple fix as, or I don't
Hmm.
think it should be as if we just put it in schools and make it mandatory. I think the first thing should be to figure out how we, and maybe teach people the real history about the pan, and try to make people really fall in love with the instrument before they just have to learn basically. I'm not sure if the result would be that people just, if you put it in schools, people will just flock to it and say, "Yay, we love pan."
Yeah, I understand.
Mm.
Okay, so Joshua, we reached the part of the interview that I call blood pressure. It's a
Okay,
it's a trivia section. So,
I'm letting you know from like I'm gonna get these wrong for sure.
no, no, you got to get it right. Trust me. Let's check your blood pressure. All right. So, Buljol or smoke herring?
I have to pick.
Yeah, you had to pick one.
Okay, Buljol,
Buljol. Sugar cake or fudge?
fudge,
Doubles or bacon shark?
doubles,
Instagram or WhatsApp?
Instagram,
Cinema or Netflix?
Netflix.
Panorama or Steelband Festival?
Fun fact: I've never played in a Steve Harvey festival.
Panorama, yes.
But no, the thing is, I've always heard people talk about Steve Harvey festival in such like high regard.
Hmm.
Like literally, I remember growing up, and like when I was very very young, people would like hear me like roll on a pan, and they'd be
Hmm.
like, "Hmm, you never play a festival yet." Like
Yeah.
that was literally always the comment.
Yes.
So I'm and because I've played a couple of Panama as well, so I'm very excited to like. I would definitely choose festival because I've never done it and I've heard so much about it. Plus,
Chri-
Skiffle has such a history in festival
Christmas or Carnival?
carnival.
You see, it's easy like that. The segment has come to an end. Your blood pressure is good. Okay. Vaccine Win is the newest NLCB promotion. To participate, you must be 18 years and over, be in possession of a valid Trinidad and Tobago vaccination card, and have received one dose of a WHO approved COVID 19 vaccine during the promotion period, August 18 to September 14, 2021. 100 weekly winners will receive $5,000 each, and the grand prize is $50,000. Stay hydrated with Caribbean spring water, natural alkaline spring water from the Northern Range. Joshua, Josh,
Talk to me.
yes. Do you see yourself? Okay, so your father is, I call him an icon in Pan and culture
Hmm.
because I don't know if you know this, but years ago, your father organized tour to Italy
Hmm.
for a whole lot of people, um, cultural people, people like David Rudder, Tambu, Malik folk performers, Skiffle. And I went up with them on that tour, and I've seen him work as a, you know, producer, so to speak, promoter. Now, I know he's a politician, a mayor. You see yourself following your father's footsteps and getting involved in politics sometime down the road?
I can't say. I can't say. I do. I'm not. I've never been good at planning ahead.
Eh,
Anybody would tell you that.
eh,
Yeah. So I can't see past like next year
yes,
really,
that's-
and that's a genuine answer.
okay, I appreciate that. Tell me something. In your opinion, why do you think it is that more South Steel bands haven't been more successful in Panama? We've had like what, 50, 59 panoramas, 58 panoramas, and two South Steel bands have won. You know, why do you think is the reason for that?
I have no clue to be honest. No real clue to be honest. Um, yeah, because the things I could think of like things that may be factors, but then um, I could also think of like things to counteract those arguments. So to be honest, I have no real reason in my head.
Um, how do you think that the local economy could be enhanced by pan manufacturing? What do you
Well,
think could be put in place to do that? Pan factories, stuff like that,
for
to enhance the local economy,
on from
bringing money to the national purse.
yeah, but because I saw there's also the discussion about like how this pan factory
Mm,
would be made and how this factory will be run. So the question is are we talking about a pan factory in which there's one factory and then all or multiple tuners work in this one factory, or are we talking about multiple pan factories?
oh, oh.
Because I think either way, this it will be this would generate income for Trinidad and Tobago on a whole.
Mm,
Because I think it's high time that we do have a pan factory. Let me add that too, because there is Trinidad and Tobago is the home of pan. This is the mecca of pan. So there, from the minute there is a working pan factory, there will be countries, there will be so many people wanting our instruments. So it
mm,
definitely will generate money, foreign exchange. People wanted to buy these instruments, as well as it will create jobs for people here on so many levels, so many pan tuners, and in the pan making, pan manufacturing process, there's so many different stages. So it will generate so many jobs as well. I think the discussion has to be had about how this pan factory will be operated, as well as how it will be owned. And
Hmm.
yeah, so that's just the main questions.
I guess a factory or factories like that could also provide employment or will provide employment for the tuners,
Yeah.
the technicians, the people making the instrument kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. So as I
Um,
said, and in that pan manufacturing process, there's so many different levels,
yes,
and so there's so many people that can be employed, and then the a factory could also, it could be diverse, and it could not just be pans, it could be pan sticks, it could be pan cases,
right,
so
right,
it
right.
can encompass the whole steel pan family and everything that's involved in it. So literally, it's so much of money that can be generated and so many jobs that can be generated. And I think, in particularly, jobs for a niche, jobs for a group of people, and the steel pan grouping of people in Trinidad is so big. It's so huge. Like when you look at Panorama, there's so many people involved in pan. So I think it would be nice to have like this career option for so many people.
Yeah. You made a statement earlier on about about people
Yeah.
not really,
By the time you said, I mean, a statement, I know we were going there.
yeah, not really loving the instrument as they should, you know, like trade as it should in the mecca of pan, right? You think if we had increased airplay of pan music, like on the radio and stuff like that, could boost the instrument from being seasonal and just a panorama event instrument kind of thing?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like anything can and will increase that likeness of pan, but
Hmm.
there's so many things that have to happen.
Hmm.
So you spoke about pan being seasonal. I think
Hmm.
we as panists also have to stop thinking of pan as seasonal.
Hmm.
So it can't just be that we want people to think of pan as seasonal, but whilst we are thinking of pan as seasonal, because there's so many people who they're like, okay, panorama, nothing afterwards. Panorama
Hmm.
again. Like there's Stevens that literally open their Panya panorama,
Hmm.
nothing again. And that's fine. There's some people that is some people like that and some people want that route. But if that's not the route that you want and you want pan to be year round, or you want to be you just want pan to be year round, then that's not necessarily what's gonna work for us.
But then, as I say year round, we're not thinking just of Trinidad and Tobago. We're
Worldwide.
thinking of worldwide, you know, like festivals. So many festivals are held every month in the
Yeah,
year.
literally.
And you have all these jazz artists and jazz shows. Pan should have a place, but we need the people now with the know how and marketing, I guess,
Mhm.
to get it out there,
Yeah,
right?
well, something I actually thought about recently, and I don't think this is a problem specifically for pan only. I was
Mm,
thinking about that. I don't think we really have an industry in Trinidad of like managing artists and really like and talent agencies.
mhm,
Because
right.
there's no one that really is going to scout a panist, or even, and not even like a singer, like a young singer or upcoming. Nobody's really going to scout that person and carry them the way, or at least guide them as in like a talent agency. Or even once you become because even me, like I kind of struggle to find people to like really help me, or really like market me or manage me. So I think that, and that's not just for pan, I think that's in so many different industries, dancers, actors. We
Mm.
don't really have an industry of like talent agencies.
To take it beyond Trinidad and Tobago, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, or even just in locally, to help us locally.
locally, is a
Yeah,
challenge
'cause
as well.
literally, yeah, like a lot of things that I have to do, like I don't even know who to talk to about like help for certain things.
Wow.
And I've tried, like I've tried, reaching out to people, and it's just not. That's not a dig at anybody in particular. That is, I do think we have an industry of that,
Yeah.
like, managers. Like when you think about other countries or other places that I don't necessarily like to compare. I'm just comparing this particular thing. When you think about other places real that have like entertainment industries, with like these agencies, you have people scouting, like actually scouting talent, and then really managing. Like it's like we don't even have, like we don't have like a record label industry here.
Like for instance, I'll call one particular place in the United States where music doesn't stop. But I'll call two places. Music doesn't stop anytime in the years. 12 months of music. New Orleans and Nashville.
Mm.
Nashville, country and western, New Orleans jazz.
Hmm.
And there's always work for artists, you know,
Yeah.
both domestic artists and artists from around the world that begin there. And I don't know, maybe it's these models we're supposed to be looking at and trying to find a way to, market our stuff.
I think some people feel a way about like modeling things after other countries, but I don't. Because a lot of these things have been tried and tested and have been going on for a while, so I don't see a problem with that. And
Mm.
in no way, I don't think that we should compare what we have to other people. But I just think in some cases we can look and learn and adapt, and
That's my point exactly.
yeah.
Um, what do you think needs to be done? Well, we're in the middle of the COVID thing, we have Delta variant and Mu and all this type of thing. And the vaccine drive is on now, accelerated. Um, what do you think to be done or needs to be done to give Pan a play, so to speak, if there's a Carnival 2020?
Honestly, I think just the want it, the will to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really and truly. I generally just think it's just the will to do it, because in this year we've seen so many things happen,
Mm-hmm.
um, virtually, or whether or even socially distanced.
Yeah.
Things can happen. You just need to you have to want to do it, and then figure out how you're gonna do it
The,
under restrictions.
the logistics.
Yeah, like I definitely think something can happen next year. It's just literally to want to do it.
I think the one thing that everybody has accepted, we cannot have a panorama the way panorama is held, with thousands
Yeah.
of people come up together, at a venue, right?
Well, I mean, in that case, it's one of two things. Like if we realize next year we can't have the panorama the way that we used it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a matter of, okay, then do we
But
have
the
yeah, do we have a panorama? Would you rather next year, for 2 years in a row, would you rather no panorama, or would you rather a panorama in the only way that we can have it?
Mhm.
And it's not to say that we shouldn't have it, because it reflects a time in history.
Yeah. Mhm.
It was a Soca Monarch this year. It's not the Soca Monarch we used to, but it still reflects a time in history. And the thing is, we've when we look back at history, we hear so many stories about people boycotting Panorama, or one person go Panorama and they win, or like you hear all those stories, and it reflects a time in history. Like I personally, and thankfully I'm not on Pan Tobago, so I don't have to work through the logistics. 'Cause I know it's probably so difficult. I'm just talking here on an interview, but I rather we do a panorama in whatever way it be, like as scaled down as necessary, and we could say in 10 years. Wait, you remember when each band had 10 players in a panorama? Because that is it sounds funny, but in 10 years, that is a story to tell,
Yes. Yes. But,
as opposed to no panel, because it reflects where we are right now. Because when we tell our children, and children and in the future about COVID, we need to tie in the pan with it too, because pan was part of it. We need to say, hey, two men went panorama. It was a two-man panorama.
yeah.
As opposed to now, we didn't have panorama.
Yeah. Um, what has COVID-19 taught you about yourself?
Um, I have no idea. I've been asked this before, and I can't say anything, because I don't feel like I've sat down and like reflected, or like, my life itself is very I live like a loner life by choice. Like I like to be alone, and also
Mm.
because of like work, the things that I do, I'm always like, okay, at home, edit 2 videos, in my room, conceptualize a new idea, practice. Then I might just go to a gig, or I might go to the studio, but I'm back here. So really and truly, my life wasn't changed too much by COVID.
Right.
And so I don't think I really got the chance to like learn about myself so much. because it's not like my life was like drastically changed.
Mm.
And B, I don't think I gave myself the opportunity to learn about myself really.
One last question.
Sure.
What's in the future for Junior? Sorry, Josh.
That's fine. I get that all the time.
Regrello, what's in the future for you?
I have no clue, but it would just be me becoming more of a creative. I told you before, I genuinely I'm not good at planning in advance. I can't even tell you what I'm trying to do for the rest of the year. Literally, I don't even know what the rest of the day holds me. But I think it would just be me being more of a creative and just creating more in some way or form.
Mm-hmm. Joshua, I must thank you for being
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. This was fun. I had fun, and thanks for all your thoughts and stuff like that. My guest this evening has been Joshua Regrello, captain of CAL Skiffle Steel Orchestra, and you've been looking at Bloodline podcast on iEnt Live, sponsored by NLCB. Good evening. Ciao.
Digitize and monetize with iEnt Live, the only platform that provides complete digital support for entertainers, promoters, businesses, and entrepreneurs. Leverage our one-stop digital ecosystem that will allow you to promote your music, sell albums, and host paid events, host webinars and sell courses, promote your concerts, sell tickets and live stream events, and market your business or project to generate new customer leads, traffic, and more. This is all supported by our homegrown AI-driven digital marketing infrastructure that has successfully served hundreds of clients around the world. To learn more, send us a message or call 765-4641.